Hey, how's it going everyone? My name's Sinister Skater. Welcome to the channel. Today I have 5 assorted tips and tricks that will help out your game tremendously in Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War multiplayer. So if you guys end up learning something new or enjoying the video, make sure you hit that like button and consider subscribing. But let's dive into it. Tip number 1 is probably the most game-changing tip, and it is to use the flashlight attachment because it is borderline OP. The flashlight attachment reveals enemy data, and what that means is that 1, if your crosshairs intersect with an enemy at any range, their nameplate will display, and 2, if you're within the reveal distance range, it will display a circle above the enemy's head. And this is helpful because not only does it let you spot enemies quicker and easier, but it will also show you enemies that you wouldn't have noticed without the flashlight. Like this dot will pop up when the enemy is barely visible to you, like even if it's just a little tidbit of their head that's showing above something like we're seeing in the example right now. It will often reveal an enemy early as you round corners, but the best thing is that sometimes the flashlight will show you enemies that you literally can't even see, like enemies behind walls. The most common example of this is on Cartel. You'll be able to spot enemies through those annoying bushes in the middle of the map. And the plane on Checkmate is a pretty common scenario too, where usually you can track the dot while the enemies are crossing the windows of the plane that's in the middle of the map, even though you can't see them from the outside. Now there are 4 flashlight attachments, so you want to make sure you're using the right one. The Team Tiger Spotlight is the one to use. The SOF Target Designator only activates when you're aiming down sight, so completely ignore that one, it's no good. The Mounted Flashlight will grant you a 20% increase to your reveal distance. The Tiger Team Spotlight grants a 40% increase, and the Ember Sighting Point will grant you a 30% increase alongside a 30% hipfire accuracy bonus, making the Ember Sighting Point a good option if you want to hipfire with your loadout. But the Tiger Team is the flashlight to use. Contrary to what some people have been saying about the flashlights, they do in fact have different reveal ranges. Each of them seem to have an unlimited crosshair nameplate distance, but as you can see on the screen right now, the Tiger Team Spotlight grants you the most range for that tracking dot, and the dot is what makes the flashlight great. Tip number 2 is an equally great tip regarding armor, but before we jump into that, the good people over at Manscaped are back showing some love and want to let you know they're having huge Black Friday to Cyber Monday sales on their site. You can get great deals on things like the Performance Package, which includes everything you need for below the waist grooming and hygiene. You get the Lawnmower 3.0 water resistant trimmer, which y'all already know is the best thing to trim your nuts and avoid nicks and nags. You get some Crop Preserver ball deodorant and Crop Reviver ball toner, perfect for gaming season once again. And they've also added the Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer to the kit that features the same skin safe technology as the lawnmower, and the Shears 2.0 6-piece nail kit. It's literally the best bang for your buck, and for a limited time you also get 2 free gifts: the Shed travel bag and the Manscaped anti-chafing boxer briefs. Which, yo, these things right here are some of the most comfortable boxers I've worn in my life. I literally put them on and my balls literally said thank me out loud, like no joke. So go to manscaped.com and use my promo code CINI to get 20% off plus free international shipping plus those 2 free gifts. Again, that is promo code CINI. Thanks again to Manscaped for sponsoring this video. Let's get back into tip number 2. Tip number 2 is a little trick I stumbled upon to apply armor almost instantly. What you need to do is apply your armor and then almost immediately press the weapon swap button to cancel the rest of the armor animation, similar to reload canceling. Now you only need to press the swap button once. Double tapping it will bring out your stowed weapon, but as soon as you see that blue armor bar pop up in the lower left corner of your screen, you can hit the swap button and your gun is up and ready to go and you're back into a fight. The difference between doing this and going through an entire animation is very significant, and I haven't seen many people talking about this, so I don't even know if this is a thing a lot of people know, or if this was intended by Treyarch, or if it's something they want to change in the future. So I would suggest using it while you can. And let me know if you've known of this trick before watching this in the comments, because I'm very curious. Tip number 3. Bullet velocity is crucial in Black Ops Cold War. It's like one of the most crucial stats in this game, and you want to get it as high as possible. I wasn't necessarily concerned with bullet velocity in Modern Warfare, but you need to be aware of it in Cold War, especially on weapons with lower base bullet velocities like the SMGs, the AK-47 comes to mind. If we take a look at how long it takes for the bullet to hit without any attachments on the Milano versus how long it takes with the highest bullet velocity barrel, it's a night and day difference. You're seeing it on the screen right now. The base bullet velocity is so slow that you have to adjust for bullet drop at those long ranges in multiplayer. Now, of course, this is exaggerated and you're probably not going to be using the Milano at this range, but you will feel this to an extent at all ranges. Bullet velocity very well could be why you feel like there's lag with your bullet registration in this game for certain weapons. Same story with the assault rifles, even the snipers, as you're seeing now. So I want to reiterate that the tip here is to use the 100% bullet velocity barrel attachment on as many weapons as you can. It ups the travel time of your bullets and makes some weapons feel like true hit scan weapons. Tip number 4 is to try out the Forward Intel perk. Forward Intel is a perk 1 perk that shows you a larger area on your minimap. It's a pretty significant improvement, but the bigger benefit is that it will also show you a ping on your minimap every time an enemy spawns. The way it seems to work is that in order to get the ping, the enemy has to be outside of your minimap coverage, and if they are, you'll see a pulsing notch on that ring outside of your minimap. I also want to mention that you can bring up the full map in-game, and the dots will always show on that map. Niche use case, but you could have like a dedicated map teammate who could call out spawns when you're on a high kill streak to help you keep your kill streak alive. If you are using the normal minimap, this perk isn't great for small maps like Nuketown, but it's a valuable perk for normal size maps because it gives you extra information in real time and reduces the chances of you being caught off guard by a spawn flip. It's also a great perk to consider for free-for-all for that extra map awareness. Our last tip here is for controller players, is to take a look at some of the key settings for aim assist and sensitivity, especially if you're having trouble with aim in this year's iteration of Call of Duty. First, you should look at the sensitivity itself. Since Black Ops 3, I've always put my horizontal sensitivity one less than my vertical sensitivity in all Black Ops games. I rock 6 vertical sensitivity and 5 horizontal sensitivity in this game specifically. You also want to adjust your dead zone settings, and the way you do this is to lower the dead zone all the way to its lowest point, and then slowly increase it until your thumbsticks no longer drift in game. If you can get this lower than the default, it will give you more accurate responses with your thumbsticks. Each controller is different, however, so you can't copy my settings exactly, and you may need to adjust them over time as your controller gets more wear into it. The ADS multiplier is another setting to look at. Usually I leave this alone, but with the addition of the field of view slider in this game, I have mine set to 0.8, which will slow down my sensitivity when I aim down sight just a little tad bit. I feel like it helps a lot with higher fields of view, so if you are using a higher field of view, something to consider. And lastly, experience with aim response curves. You want to be using standard or dynamic. Standard gives you a standard S curve, and the smaller adjustments will make for smaller adjustments with your thumbsticks. Larger adjustments will ramp up and then ramp down upon release. Dynamic, on the other hand, is the opposite of standard. Smaller adjustments on your thumbsticks make for a little larger and snappier adjustments in game, and then vice versa with the ramping. I myself use dynamic, but I just suggest swapping between the two every 2 or so games and seeing what works for you best. More tips are to come in the near future, so make sure you subscribe. I actually had a tip that turned out to be so impactful as I was researching it for this video that I'm giving it its own separate video, so you guys don't want to miss that one. If you enjoyed the video or learned something new, again, make sure you hit that like button. And if you're looking for something else to watch, why don't you go check out my tips on getting Flora camo easier in Cold War. people seem to be finding that video pretty helpful. If you would like to help support the channel, again, click that Manscaped link down below in the description so I look like a great partner. As always, guys, thanks for watching. My name is Sinister Skater, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace out.